Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where our probe is currently on its way to Jool. And that's fine, but it's going to take a huge amount of Delta V to break us here. I'm interested in finding out how much. So let's hop over to this Jool periapsis here. And let's create a maneuver plan there. How does this end up working? I'm curious in seeing just how much DV it's going to take to bring us into orbit. Here, we might want to consider aerobraking. This is not really helpful in any meaningful way. Okay. So in that case, I'd like to be able to create a maneuver in here, but we would have to wait. So that's reasonably fine, I guess. Let's consider warping ahead to... That's the wrong orbit, isn't it? That's in 19 years? That's in 3 years. That is indeed the wrong orbit. Here. Let's time warp to here, just inside the Julian system. So from there, we're going to be able to make a quick decision. We'll be able to do a radial retrograde burn and aerobrake a little bit, and that might get us what we need as well as far as sitting in the atmosphere goes. The question is, how do we want to go ahead and do that? It's going to be interesting. I want to just barely touch the Julian atmosphere for that. Like, I want to be at 201 at the apoapsis and 199 at the periapsis. Or something like that. Barely dipping in. So we're going to hop over to... Okay, let's stop this warp. And let's manually warp this forward a little bit here. Little further. Okay. So we are now in orbit around, or not in orbit around Jool. We've now encountered Jool. And that's not telling us that we've finished this. Do we need to orbit Jool? Hang on. We should have finished a mission, is my understanding there. That should have finished a mission. Better signal. Set up a vessel with a probe core and an antenna with a minimum range of 86 gigameters around Jool. That must mean orbital. Okay. So that's reasonably fine. I assumed it was enter the sphere of influence. No, I don't want to be in the training center. I wanted to be in the tracking station. There we go. I assumed that it was enter the sphere of influence of Jool, but I'm now assuming that we have to actually be orbiting Jool, which is fine. We can certainly do that. Okay, so here we are maximally zoomed in. That's fantastic. And we are on our way in towards Jool. We're going to build up a huge amount of speed here and slingshot. I want to focus our camera on Jool. That will be much more convenient. And as a hypothetical, if we wanted to burn this, that would be 2,600 meters per second. Okay, and our timing isn't ideal either. Where is... There we go. We'd want to grab it and put it somewhere around here, maybe slightly more retrograde. I mean, this would be a doable thing. This would be within the atmosphere, and this would not. So we would still want to pin these open, and we'd want to change the timing here. Okay, we might want to toss in a little bit of radial as well to bring that around. But honestly, I don't want to do this. Sometime up here, I want to do a radial retrograde burn. And we're just going to bring this periapsis down. Not this periapsis, but the new periapsis, which I'm not sure is actually distinctly showing at this point. I have no idea what that periapsis is. It's this. There we go. So 112 is reasonably fine. We're going to want to continue to radial that. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I think we should try to aerobrake it. So let's create a maneuver plan here, and let's bring this down, and we'll sit in the Julian atmosphere a little bit here. 178. That'll get us something anyway, and we'll be in orbit no matter what. No, I like this. The question is, will we be in the Julian atmosphere for long enough? And that I don't know. But we should certainly try to go for some sort of aero capture here. So let's get lined up for that maneuver node. We've got a lot of DV here. We're going to want to furl all of this, obviously, once we get there. But we are, for now, just going to head on in. Jool should be below us, right? I can't see Jool yet. That's intriguing, for sure. But we're aligning for this burn. I would expect Jool to be down here, but maybe it's so far away that we can barely see it at this point. Although Jool is also huge. So there's that. Well, for now, we can warp this on in. We are still barely at the edge of the sphere of influence of Jool, right? So, yeah, maybe it's our angling, or maybe we just can't really see it from here. Ah, it wasn't loaded. Okay, so that's fine. We're now about 3.5 hours away from our burn. So let's bring this in. We are now about 2 minutes away from our burn. And we're just going to warp a little bit closer. It's going to be about a 21-second burn, and we don't want to overshoot this. We absolutely do not want to overshoot this. So we're 30 seconds away. 20 seconds away. 10 seconds away. Our main concern is this periapsis. We want this to be dipped down to like 175-ish. Okay, so let's slow this down. Look at that orbital velocity. We have entered orbit, so we've finished one mission here. But I'm watching that periapsis. Okay, we are now officially in the atmosphere. Or, well, we're not in the atmosphere, but our periapsis is. I'm going to put this at 175, and we'll see how that ends up looking. Now, I'm going to want to put us on probably prograde here as we go around. And we're going to want to furl our antenna. I wonder if we can unfurl it without a connection. That's going to be an interesting question in and of itself. We're going to need to unfurl it. That'll be interesting to find out. We could find it out right now. We could make a save here and just be like, if we furl this, can we unfurl it? So we retract this. We're out of communication range, which is expected. Okay, it looks like we can furl and unfurl it, whether we have communication or not. So that seems absolutely fine. But we don't want to furl it right now. So that seems a-okay. No problem there in theory. So now what we want to do is we want to warp until we are fairly close to this periapsis. So this is going to end up being somewhere around here or so, about 18 minutes in the future. Okay, so we're now about 680 kilometers from the quote-unquote ground. There isn't any ground at Jool, and it's very dark here, right? So let's go ahead and retract our solar panels. That's mission number 1. And we're going to want to retract our communitron very quickly here, but I want to warp a little closer first. So we're 500 kilometers up from the quote-unquote ground. Ground doesn't actually mean anything over Jool. 400 kilometers. Okay, we just switched over to surface mode. That's interesting. But I guess it's reasonably fine. So 300 kilometers. And we're going to need to warp a little further. We're not in atmosphere right now. So 250. Okay, let's now furl this communitron. We don't want to have that burn off, right? We're just going to have this be locked at prograde. And hopefully this slows us down a little bit and gives us what we need in our air sniffer. We're currently in an invalid research location because we need to be in the atmosphere. right? But the question is this too deep in the atmosphere? And how long are we going to spend in the atmosphere? We'll find out. 210? Okay. 200 kilometers, and run that survey. We need to be in the atmosphere for 2 minutes. That is coming down fast. Okay. So time to periapsis is over a minute. So we should be fine as long as we survive this and don't get captured. So we're hoping to not overheat, and we're hoping to not actually get aero captured here. Well, we're trying to reduce our apoapsis, yes, but we're not trying to actually remain within the Julian atmosphere. We need to exit back out, and that may require some burning here. We'll see, but I think we'll be okay here. We're still about 30 seconds away from the periapsis, which is slightly surprising to me. We see the periapsis is barely moving and time to periapsis is coming down. That is a very, very good sign at this moment. But we're definitely losing some speed here, which is exactly what we want. And then we'll do a... We're not going to re-enter the atmosphere of Jool here. Oh, hello, that's one of the moons of Jool right there. Neat. Very neat indeed. We're also having a sunrise here. We are at the periapsis right now. We're starting to go up. We're also seeing this heat gauge. Okay. The heat gauge seems relatively okay. Our apoapsis is definitely still up there. No doubt about that. Also, this time to apoapsis also doesn't include days, which is intriguing. That's very strange, but whatever. We're definitely seeing a sunrise. Experiment finished successfully, so we were able to do that during our aero capture, which is really, really solid. And this is going to save us a lot of Delta V. Not that we need it for anything, but it's going to save us a lot of Delta V. Look at how much apoapsis we shaved off here. That's over half. We could run a second atmospheric survey. We could try it. I'm not sure if we'll succeed, but we could try. We'll probably... No, we're definitely going to exit before that's done. We're at 192 right now. 193. 194. Yeah, this is looking really solid, all things considered. So we're going to be exiting the atmosphere shortly, at which time we're going to immediately extend our antenna and solar panels. Left valid region. Yep. We're going to extend this and extend our solar panels. We're going to need all the power we can get our hands on. And I want to transmit this back. How do we do that? I think we need to go into our science air sniffer. No, this is not how we do this. Okay, so the Communitron is here. We've got some time. We've got lots and lots of time to figure this out. So that's okay. We're letting our electric charge come up a little bit. I want to go into the science view here. Yeah, that's not helpful. I want to transmit this back. Non-stageable resources, yes, that's fine. It's in here somewhere. Research inventory. This is what we want. Okay. So this must be returned to the KSC, but this atmospheric data can be transmitted back. Do it. That's not going to cost too much in terms of the electricity either. So we got the atmospheric data there. That'll be worth 2160, plus we're going to get the... Yeah, we're going to get the science reward from mission control as well. So that seems great, but we're not in a stable orbit here, and we want to bring this into a stable orbit. So... we're going to want to do... We could do a second pass through the atmosphere. I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to create a maneuver plan around here-ish. And we're going to do a retrograde burn. That puts us into an encounter, or rather into an impact trajectory there. But we want to bring this periapsis up above the atmosphere. which this is reasonably fine here. And then we can just, like, circularize it at this apoapsis. Or maybe raise it up ever so slightly higher. Actually, hang on. Why do that at all? Why not come about here and raise our periapsis up and encapsulate this orbit up here and circularize it there? That's probably the best way to go. Let's align for that burn. There we go. And we'll not be re-entering the Julian atmosphere, but we did get a heck of a lot of science out of that. So we'll warp forward about the 4 minutes that'll be. This does not need to be pinned open, but whatever. Cool. So this is going to be about 170 meters per second. It is very green here. That's not necessarily surprising. Okay, so we've got about 20 seconds until this burn. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Now, we don't want to be on an escape trajectory here. So we want to hit this fairly accurately. It's going to be very sensitive at that far point. And circularizing this will be a little expensive, but we've got lots of DV left in this thing. This is actually not even the full amount that we have. So that's fine. We've got so much DV in this. We can put a probe over literally anything in the system we want to at this point. So that looks good. We've got about 5 seconds left in this burn. It's going to get very, very sensitive indeed. Okay, let's throttle that down a little bit. There, that'll do. Now, at this apoapsis, I want to do a prograde burn and circularize that out. Now, that is giving us an escape trajectory, which means that this is not timed correctly. Okay. Once again, this is giving us an escape trajectory. It's not quite the ideal timing. So we can bring this back to somewhere around... Oh, I know there's a correct timing in here somewhere. Okay, this is definitely not it. Where are we in relation to that apoapsis? Yeah, put it right there. That's much better. It's not perfect. And we should probably try to toss in a little bit of radial on it or something. Or we could just do a second burn at the apoapsis later on, or we could just call this good enough. And this is probably good enough. So we'll just align for that burn. That'll be 310 meters per second. That's not so bad. We have so much leftover DV in this thing. It is wildly overbuilt. So let's get into position for this. We are going to nearly escape from Jool. Jool might not even be visible in the orbit that we're going to be in here. And that's fine. So let's get aligned. And let's go. We're going to warp as of now. Goodbye, Jool. Jool is not even visible. Excellent. So we're technically in a stable orbit right now. It's just a wacky orbit, and I don't love the orbit. So we are, of course, going to continue to warp forward a couple of hours here. Now, about 2 minutes. Looks good. Okay, about 8 seconds until this burn. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Okay. And all we need to do is make sure that we don't actually exit the sphere of influence here. We just want to push this periapsis up as much as possible. We're slingshotting around a lot of the Julian moons there, but that is absolutely fine for right now. We just need to increase this orbital velocity and clear all of the moons. And yeah, we'll call this good as far as this orbit goes. It's definitely imperfect, but that's fine. I don't mind. It doesn't need to be perfect. We just want to have some sort of a ComSat out here now that we've completed all of our objectives. So that'll be fine. About another 15 seconds of burn left here. And as long as we don't overshoot this, we shouldn't be too bad as far as escape velocity goes. We do not want to escape from Jool. If we do, we'll have to hop over to retrograde. That'll do. Okay, so this is absolutely fine for now. We could definitely push out that periapsis a little bit, I think. 2285029. Yeah, we could like another 200,000 kilometers, but I don't really care. It's fine. This is okay as it is. So we'll leave this here, and we need to head back to mission control. We've got 2250 science right now, but we completed lens test, which is going to give us 3,000. We'll submit that. The atmospheric survey looks great. Yes, indeed it does. Okay. So we're going to get 3,000 science from that, and then we have better signal here. This is our main mission here, and we've got 5,000 science from this. Another successful mission, Director. You're getting quicker. That or my sense of time and space is off. I blame the decaf. Fair enough. I'm all about tea now. The longer you steep it, the stronger it gets. I wonder how strong you can make it. I must ask the department heads. The answer is quite strong. Your satellite has already yielded results. We have another signal. This time it's coming from one of Jool's moons, Tylo. There's a good chance the signal might be the last. After all, we're so far out into the Kerbolar system, where else could we go? There's a lot of additional places we can go. We're really going to have to put our heads together on all we've learned from the previous monuments. I feel like there's something they want us to know or do. But what? The decoded message might help. The message says, "Honor for Gorja, the oldest one, the dreaming tree that bears the fruit of the world, those whose unwaking eyes watch over the tetrad, and whose roots are watered with knowledge." So, tetrad, that's 4, right? Like the 4 stalks of the tree guy Gorja. One stalk held one of those squiddy non-Kerbals, another had a Kerbal, and the other figures were broken. Was Tree Guy dreaming of Kerbin or something else? Why is Kerbin at the heart of all of these clues? This is so exciting. Who knows? Maybe what you find on Tylo will be the key. Good work out there, Director. You've made all of us incredibly proud. Okay, so we're going to get 5,000 here, and we need to land on Tylo for 10,000 science. Okay, so what is this? Plant a flag on pole, and 3,000 on for a sample report of the strange creature on Lathe. Okay. Noted. So we have a lot of things that we need to work on here for sure. We have 10,000 science, so let's head into R&D and see what we can get here. Obviously, we're done with starting rocketry. Medium orbital rockets, I want to just grab medium truss adapters and aviation utility. Let's get those squared away. And then in here, what are we interested in? We've got heavy launchers, which would give us access to the Mammoth 2, an even more powerful launcher. And we should do that. Oversized monoprop, enlarged power systems. Heavy construction would give us access to some of this stuff. Medium to large conical adapter, but that is not a fuel adapter. Deep space methalox would give us access to the cornet, trumpet, and tuba. Okay. So these are definitely new. I'm assuming this is the 5-meter fairing size, or like the 5-meter radius size. Presumably. I would be interested in grabbing this. Do we want heavy nuclear propulsion? We haven't done any nuclear propulsion as of yet. It hasn't been a big deal. However, it is quite efficient. There's no doubt about that. So heavy orbital operations would give us access to the Labradoodle, which would be very solid. 5-seat command pod and a 4-seat lander can, as well as the S3 3600 Methalox fuel tank and a larger heat shield. That's probably worth grabbing. And then from there, we can grab one of any of these. So large aerodynamics is probably not all that relevant for us right now. Heavy construction is also probably not that relevant. This would be the Gigantor, which would be not too bad, but I feel like we're doing okay for the moment on our power. We haven't had major power issues. Oversized monoprop tanks, though, this is not very relevant either. Let's just grab enlarged power systems, and we'll call that good. Okay, this will give us a better antenna here. Fascinating. Also, RTGs. That's not bad as we go further into the system, like further away from Kerbal. We'll take it. That sounds good. So that's all of our science gotten, and that means that we need to choose what we want to do next. We have a bunch of these missions that we're still working on. I would like to clean up some of these secondary missions for sure. I feel like we're in a much better position to do things like this. This would be a relatively quick mission too. Just going to min-miss, that's super easy. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're probably going to start working on, well, I mean, these are intended to be the bases, right? So we're probably going to start doing things like landing in the Mohole on Moho. This is planting a flag on Pole, which we can definitely do. And this is go to Lathe. And this might be a very specific location on Lathe. We'll find out. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Atala, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.